Hey guys, what's up? Here's a quick little video about things. Let's talk about it. Sometimes you gotta be real, guys. Sometimes you just gotta be real. There is no real good intro for this one. Basically what we've got, basically what we got right here is I've been doing some reloading. And sometimes when you do reloads with once fired brass, or maybe it's 10th fired brass, I don't know, you'll run across a couple rounds, especially brass, that are just kind of off. And when you go to case check it, which is why you should always check your rounds, you find some anomalies. Okay, so here is, for example, a standard, everything's normal, everything's up to spec, everything's good. A 9mm cartridge. I'll try to take a picture for you. That's 9mm. That's what it should look like, okay? Then you've got this little guy. From this distance, he probably looks exactly the same. If you read it, and I'll try to put a picture in there, this is a 9mm Makrov. Makrov. Yeah. The case is just a hair shorter than a 9mm. Interesting. Then, I've run into this a lot more. You've got this little feller. This is a 380. This guy looks different, right? If you hold up the 9mm, the real 9mm, up against this guy, you can tell the difference in case sizes. These are different. These are way different. These are all loaded with the same primers. They're all loaded with the same powders. They're all loaded with the same bullets. They just have different cases. So, in my infinite wisdom, I've decided I'm going to sacrifice myself for science. Not really, but I'm going to fire these things out of the AR-9. I'm not going to fire it out of a pistol, like a Glock or whatever, because in case something was to happen, which I can't imagine anything catastrophically horrible happening, and now all the real gunsmiths and people who have smart internet knowledge are like, but you're gonna die because XYZ. Okay, I don't think you're really gonna die. I think since these are all loaded the same thing, the same depth, the same everything, I think they're just gonna function just fine, if they function. The only one I'm really worried about is the 380, that it might just be a little bit different, but we're gonna try it. For science, we're gonna try it, and that's why I'm doing it out of an AR-9. I think it's the safest one that I have to shoot it. If something did happen, it's more contained. I'm not going to do it out of my MP5 because that's a more expensive gun. But we're going to shoot it. We're not shooting it for accuracy or anything because these are just one round. But we're just going to shoot these guys and see. If you accidentally threw some 9mm Makrov or some 380s and they got somehow mixed up in the mash of your 9mm and you're loading, will you die? Will I die? If this video posts, then obviously I didn't die. And I'm being a little facetious. I'm not expecting to die or really get hurt. I'm more or less thinking, oh, could it cause like a squib for some reason? Could it be just overpressured and it might damage your firearm? Yeah, okay, those are real things. I'm not really expecting catastrophic failures. So what we're going to do, we will start with the, let's see, we'll put the 9mm Makarov last, okay? So he's last, and then the 380. Before I shoot these, let's take those pictures I talked about. All right, so let's load these up. We got those pictures. Let's load these up. First off, which will be last because this is the first going into the magazine, this will be the 380. Okay, make sure I do get these right. That's the 380. Then we have the 9mm Makarov. Okay, and then we have the regular 9mm. Nothing crazy about it, okay? Let's load those up. I'm actually going to step back a ways. I'm going to go shoot at a different part so I can catch the brass because I don't want to lose this brass. Because if it does something crazy, I want to try to find it. So let's step back into the sunlight over here and let's see what happens. So from back here, I'm not trying to hit anything. I'm mainly just trying to see where the world this brass goes. So 9mm chamber just fine. Let's just fire off there and see where this stuff flies. Let's see if it cycles. So 9mm. Check my brass. That brass looks fine. The 9mm Makrov does seem to have chambered just fine. Okay. Same thing, 9mm Makrov. $9mm Makrov. Seem to be just fine. That 380, she's in there. Seems to be chambered. Let's see. It's the only one I'm really halfway worried about. Let's see where this one goes. Here we go. Ooh, nope. A dead trigger. Or not dead trigger. Nope. So the trigger fell. If you can see, oh, you can see in there. There you go. No primer strike, no nothing. Kind of what I was thinking, because the case is just a little bit different. I think it's crammed up too far in there, and the striker can't get to it. Try one more time. Nope. Yep, same thing. No primer strike. All right. Basically what's happened is that 380 case is too short. It's just too short. So it's cramming way further up in there, and it's way past the extractor, right? The extractor can't grab it, and the striker can't hit it. So yeah, let's step back over here and discuss this for a minute. All right, so in walking back over here, that 380 just kind of fell out of the chamber. It just kind of free falls around. There's nothing really. The extractor can't grab it. Just falls out. Basically, how I'm understanding this whole thing is you can see kind of on the bullet itself, maybe if it'll focus, probably not. You can kind of see where it was crammed all the way forward into that chamber, and it was too far. So imagine if it was sitting just that much further, right? Then that striker, see how the 9mm on the bottom is sticking further out this way? Probably not. But that striker couldn't get to it, right? So there's not even a mark where that striker even tried to get to. So in reality, in an AR-9, if you accidentally threw in a 380 case, you're probably gonna be fine. You're just gonna get a dud. Let's put it in the 48, and let's see if that does anything. We will just hand load it. I don't think it's going to do anything either, but we'll see. We'll see. Here we go. Oh. No. So same difference, y'all. Same difference. Not even a mark. There's not even a mark where that striker went. So same thing. If you stick accidentally a 380, all you're doing is wasting components. Because at this point, unless you have a 380 that you could put this into, and it's probably, the bullet is probably way too far forward, except now it's been crushed back. You can see that now the 380 is shorter. This might work in a 380 now. It might be overpressured. It might hurt your gun. But as far as I can tell, out of a 48, Glock 48 and an AR-9, it's just not going to do anything, right? I mean, I guess you might be able to make it work if you held the gun straight up in the air, which you shouldn't do, and pull the trigger. Yeah, it might be sitting far enough back that when that striker comes up, it's resting on the bolt face or something. But yeah, that's not something you should do, but it's not something I would be overly concerned that my gun's going to explode, okay? Now, the 9mm Makrov, wherever that guy went, he was just fine. Yeah, he was just fine. There's not really much any major signs of like overpressure or whatever. He's just fine. He was just long enough to still get a solid hit with that striker. Didn't split the primer or anything. Seems to be just fine. So if he had some 9mm Makrov in there, I think it'd be fine. Anyway, I thought that was just an interesting thing. I had that stuff loaded up, and somebody pointed that out to me that, hey, we had a couple extra in here that were kind of messed up. They didn't case check fine, so what should we do with them? Well, I'm going to take them out here and shoot them for y'all. So I hope you found that interesting. I'd never even seen a 9mm Makrov case before. I've seen the ammo, but not the cases. Anyway, if you have any comments, concerns, questions, complaints, shouldn't do this kind of stuff, should do this kind of stuff, whatever, let me know, and we'll try to humor you. All right, y'all be good to be safe. I appreciate you watching, subscribing, all that kind of stuff, and hopefully we'll catch y'all in the next video.